If you ride a victory cross country and you've ever felt that annoying sloppy and looseness in your shift lever or brake pedal, today's the video for you. We're doing two things. We're going to install a heel shifter so you've got more options when it comes to shifting and swapping out those stock bushings for brass bushings to tighten everything up and get rid of that play at the pivot point. We'll walk you through every step, show you the tools you need, and explain why these upgrades actually matter, especially if you're putting serious miles on this bike. Let's get into it. Before we touch anything on the bike, let's talk about what you're going to need. First, the parts. Number one, an aftermarket heel shifter kit compatible with your Victory Cross Country. Make sure it's designed for your bike because the fit matters. Like this one here that I found at eBay. Link to it is in the description below. Number two, brass bushings that are designed for your heel shifter pivot point and the rear brake pedal. These are direct replacements for the factory bushings that are plastic or rubber. You can find them at Witch Doctors, like here, and I'll put another link in the description below. Now for the tools. And the good news is that's not a complicated tool list. You'll need a 3/8 or 1/2 inch driver ratchet and socket set, metric sockets 10mm and 13mm, metric Allen hex and hex key set, 6mm and 8mm, torque wrench, lithium grease or waterproof grease, it can be anything, and shop rings. And a parts tray or magnetic tray. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Before I start pulling things apart, let me take a minute to explain what the brass bushings actually do for you, because it's worth understanding before you just throw parts at your bike. When you install the heel shifter, it pivots at a pin or a bolt at its mount point. The factory setup usually has plastic or rubber bushings at that point. Same story on the brake pedal side. Over time, those bushings wear down and you end up with what riders call slop or play or looseness when you go to apply the shifter or the brake pedal. Brass bushings are a direct upgrade because brass is harder, more durable material that holds its shape under the stress and heat of regular riding. It doesn't compress or deform the way plastic or rubber does. The result is a more direct, precise feeling at that pivot point of the heel shifter and the brake pedal, less slop, better feedback, and you'll outlast the factory bushing significantly. I said that weird. Significantly. I couldn't say it. It's one of those small upgrades that makes a big difference in how the bike feels day to day. So let's get to it. We're going to start at the shift linkage. That's the rod connecting between the transmission and the shift lever. We need this out of the way because we have to take the floorboard out and take the heel shifter off. So step one, locate the linker rod. Like I said, it's between the shifter and the floorboard, or the transmission and floorboard on the left side of the engine. Step two, you'll need to grab your 10mm socket and ratchet, loosen and remove the bolt or pinch clamp at the transmission and linkage rod, and set that hardware in your parts tray. You will reuse it. Step three, use your 8mm Allen key and ratchet on your 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch drive. Remove the tool bolts under the floorboard so that you can take the floorboard off. Take a reference photo before you go any further. You want to remember how everything is positioned before it comes apart. Installing a heel shifter with brass bushings seated at the pivot point, this is what eliminates that slop right at the source. First, we're going to have to take the heel shifter off. So to do that, you're going to have to take that bolt out or barrel. It's a 6mm Allen key. It may be tight. It took me a little bit to get mine loose. Step 5, take your brass bushings and apply a thin coat of grease outside of each one. This helps seat properly and reduces wear at the pivot point over time. Step 6, attach the heel shifter to the shifter lever with the bolts provided. These are 2-threaded holes near the rear of the shift lever. Step 7, insert the brass bushings into the pivot bore of the heel shifter, that's the hole where the pivot pin or bolt passes through. Those should fit snugly. If you need to seat them, use a punch or light hammer taps. Don't force them. They should be flush or just below the surface. Step 8. Test the fit of heel shifter onto its mount point. Make sure the alignment looks right and the heel pad will sit in a natural position relative to your foot pad. You want your heel to be able to depress the shifter with a natural downward motion without having to reposition your foot awkwardly. Get the position right now before you commit to it. Step 9. Run the pivot bolt through the mount, putting it back in. It should move smoothly and noticeably less play than the stock setup. That tighter, more precise feel right there, that's the upgrade. Once you're happy with the fitment, apply a small amount of blue Loctite to the floorboard mounting bolts and install it. You want the bolts snug and firm, not gorilla tight. Step 11. Now reinstall your shift linkage rod, connecting it back to the transmission end. Snug everything down and confirm the linkage moves freely before moving on.
Now that you have everything together, it's time to take it out for a test run. This is to test the functionality of your install and make any final adjustments that you find necessary. The heel shifter should be noticeably tighter but should still move freely when shifting. If everything is to your liking, just keep on riding and enjoy your install.